Hi Burton, how you doing?
Good, Sebastian. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Well, Burton, 2015, 1995. Let's talk about Demanufacture. Demanufacture.
There's a lot to talk about.
Exactly. Well, I have to say this. I saw you guys were coming to Switzerland, and then I read this article, or actually here we are at KIF, the venue, and it was saying Fear Factory is going to play the whole album in full length.
In sequential order.
Exactly. How did you guys come up with that idea?
It's something we've been discussing for a couple of years. But it was like a few years ago, we started noticing bands started doing that themselves. Like Metallica playing a whole album, like the whole Black Album in its entirety, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea, and we should do something like that for one of our albums. And Demanufacture's coming and said, well, Demanufacture's the record that put us on the map, so we should do that. There was a lot of excitement behind that album when it came out in 1995, and whenever we play songs from an album on tour, it gets a great reaction, so we thought we'd try it out.
Very cool. And is it different, to play it today, 2015, compared to 1995, 20 years ago? Yeah,
I'm 20 years older, so it's not as easy as it used to be. But aside from that, the reaction still, the reaction from the crowd is still the same. Back in '95 when the album was fresh and new and fans were hearing it for the first time and coming to the shows, and we weren't playing the whole record live, but we were playing quite a lot of cuts from it, and it was still a lot of energy from the crowd. The fans were loving it, and now that we're playing the entire record, I see some of the same fans coming out, but a lot of new faces as well, and the energy is still intense. It's still very high, and people are very excited.
Fast forward 20 years, Genexus. I don't have a copy of it here, but Genexus. When I first heard it, I'm a kid of Demanufacture. As you said, it put you on the map. It put you definitely on my map.
Yeah.
And for me, Genexus sounds like somewhere where Demanufacture are obsolete. Basically, your 90s albums kind of like finish and it picks up. Genexus. And I read in an article with, I think it was an interview with Reverb.com, where you said that you did some soul searching.
We did, and there's a lot of truth in that. We did soul searching, we did researching. We researched our own music, and what we did, we had to go back and listen to our old albums like Demanufacture and Obsolete and Digimortal. And playing songs from those records, we were making sure what were the songs that were really going off the most, and it was always songs from Demanufacture and Obsolete. So we did some soul searching and researching, and we was like, well, what made those? We had to learn what made those songs good, and what made that, what made those albums so popular. And what we learned was that the song crafting was really above its time for us, and so we had to go back and really craft our songs really well, and we also realized that those two albums were the two albums we spent more time on than any other album we ever had, and so we took our time on Genexus. We made sure that the song crafting was right. We made sure that the guitars, the drums, the vocals, the lyrics, the concepts were just on point. And so being that a lot of thought went into it, that was just like what we did with Demanufacture and Obsolete. And so that has a lot. I think that's one of the reasons why Genexus is coming across as an album up to par with those two records. Not comparable, but on the same level. And I'm very happy to say that. I'm very proud of the album, and I'm very, very pleased and very honored that fans are taking to us so well.
I have to say, I was just talking to our cameraman Mark, who is behind the camera, and I was just telling him that Genexus is actually my favorite Fear Factory album now.
Wow, really?
Seriously.
That says a lot.
Exactly, and it's very good to basically validate what I said before. That after hearing Genexus, it really it was where Demanufacture or obsolete.
And I would agree too. You know, it was more of a focus to really make a coherent album that really stuck with the Fear Factory concept without losing your sound, but without repeating yourself. And repeating yourself gets old and tired. But if you can, you know, regenerate your sound and move forward conceptually, sonically, and continue to write good songs, then you that's, to me, is a success.
Exactly. And you also wrote or crafted a graphic novel for the Industrialist.
I did. Finally, it came out. You know, when the Industrialist came out, it had a story within it.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since I wrote that story, I started searching for a graphic artist to render it, to create the images. And it literally took me a year and a half
That long
to find an artist. And I found him in London on the last day of the tour of the Industrialist, actually. And he was a Fear Factory fan, and we were introduced by a mutual friend. And he sent me some ideas. I'm like, you're the guy. And so we started working together. And the images he created were just, he captured what I was thinking in my mind perfectly. And it took some, you know, we put it all together. And I had to, you know, building the team, I had, you know, he painted everything by hand on boards in black and white.
Cool.
And so when I got the images, I got the boards, I had them, I found a friend, someone in Pennsylvania where I live, who is a graphic artist as well, and he scanned them, high-res scanned them, and he colored them digitally. Cool. And so, you know, that was one process, and then he also, you know, it took me some time to find, I was trying to find either a publisher to publish it or do it myself. And after giving up and finding a publisher, I decided to do it on my own.
Okay.
And we found a printing press, and they had this perfect template. And so the other graphic artist, Rachel, he laid it out, and we sent it off, and I only made it 500, and I've been selling them on my website, and it's been going very well. And I was supposed to have some here, but the shipment got messed up.
That was going to be my next question. Can I buy one tonight? 'Cause I wanted to buy it, but I thought, I'm going to see Fear Factory live, so I can buy it.
We can blame German customs for that.
Oh man. Well, okay. So your website is
BurtonCBell.com.
Perfect.
And it's available there, and you know, there's still copies left. It's selling fast, but there's still copies left.
Exactly.
And I will be having an in-store in London.
Ooh.
You know, a signing with the artist Noel Gard at a place called Orbital.
Nice.
On December 14th.
December 14th. That would be a Monday.
It's a Monday, that's right.
Ooh, good to know. December 14th.
And we'll have copies there.
Very good. So, and if you can't make it, then go to the website and buy it there.
Yeah, buy it there. But but London will be the only place where you can get it signed by myself and Noel.
Very cool. Very cool.
So, yeah, it was quite an achievement to finally have my first graphic novel out. So I was very pleased with that.
That's fantastic. Well, I can't wait to buy finally one online. Mm-hmm. Well, not here.
I'm so sorry I didn't have them, but
just kidding.
German customs.
Yeah. Well, and is there going to be a second graphic novel, maybe?
Yeah. A fan I met with who had purchased the Industrialist, he approached me and it's like, what's going to happen? I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, what's the Industrialist going to do now? I'm like, I didn't think about that. You know, let's so when I see Noel, we're going to discuss it. What's going to happen? What could happen next? You know, I'm going to probably streamline it a bit. You know, not so wordy, but you know, still in depth and you know, the struggle of machine versus man and within the machine itself, and the story could continue, and I think that would be the next step.
Fantastic news. Well, Burton, thank you so very much. It was very interesting. All the best with the tour.
Thank you, Sebastian.
And we're looking forward to the next graphic novel.
Me too, and you know, I hope you enjoy the show tonight. We are playing 3 new songs from Genexus. You know, because we're going to go through Demanufacture first, and then we come back on stage and play some other old songs and some new songs.
Cool. Well, I will be here tonight. You guys better go see them wherever they are, wherever you are. Thanks again.